All right. Hello, students.
Hello,
Hi,
Scott.
everyone. Hope
Happy
you had a
Monday.
good Mother's Day weekend.
Happy Monday.
All right. So today we are going to talk about food chains and food webs. But first, I'm going to introduce our scientist of the week. So our first scientist of the week is Betty. Betty's scientist of the week because she joins our Zoom calls every single time. She's a star reader, and that helps us in our science class. She's been keeping a positive attitude through this period of uncertainty, and we just want to tell Betty that we appreciate her, and her positive vibes are contagious. Keep up your great work ethic, Betty, and thanks for representing the period 1 family. And our second scientist of the week is Alexis. Alexis is scientist of the week because she really stepped up her game. She participates in our Zoom calls as well and is really good at asking questions, and she's maintained a positive attitude. And in class, before our school closed, Alexis has always been a really great classmate to her peers and her classmates. So thank you, Alexis. We appreciate you for representing our period 6 family. You rock. Good job to both Betty and Alexis.
Okay, so as Ms. Kwan said, we're going to be discussing food chains and food webs. So to start off, what is a food chain? So a food chain thank you. So a food chain shows how nutrients and energy are transferred from organism to organism. Make sure you're writing this in your notebook because we didn't get to this last semester because remember we switched to health. Okay, so the energy from the food chain always comes from the sun. So that's kind of important because remember last topic we were talking about photosynthesis, and the plants needed the energy from the sun in order to do photosynthesis to get energy like the glucose or their food, which is their sugar. And also that's important too for cellular respiration because we need that in order for us to get our energy, our ATP. And as I was saying, energy from the sun gets captured by producers, then flows through the ecosystem. Remember, producers are ones who can make their own food or energy just like plants do when they go through photosynthesis. So this is usually the order which we categorize different organisms and food chains. So first there's sunlight, as we said, then there's producers like plants and stuff like that. Then there's the first consumer, second consumer, third consumer, and then we have decomposers, as we talked about, like the fungus or bacteria that break down organisms that are dead or food. And here's an example. So energy is flowing from the grass to the rabbit and then to the fox. So it's showing the order of like who eats what and where the energy is going. So here's another example of energy flowing. So we have acorns. The mice eat the acorn and get the energy from that. Then the snakes eat the mice and get energy. And finally, the eagles eat the snake. Here's another example with grass. Well, first sunlight, grass, insects, mouse, snake, eagle, and the mushrooms. The mushrooms are the decomposers in this because they're breaking down all the nutrients and returning it back to the soil. So more grass can grow and be producers to fuel the whole food chain. Here's some other examples for food chains. So there is the grassland biome, a pond biome, and ocean biome. Something to pay close attention to is the primary producers. Usually when we think of primary producers, we just think of things like grass, but like in environments where there's water, there can be other producers like algae and phytoplankton that other organisms eat. Yeah. And so you can take a minute to look at this. If you want, you can pause the video, but we're going to move on. Just more examples for you. So it's really important. The arrows on a food chain always point to where the energy is flowing. So for this example, the flower and the bee, the arrow wouldn't be pointing from the bee to the flower because the bee is the one who's going to the flower and sucking up the nectar to get energy. And here's another example of a food chain with a wolf and a deer, probably in a forest ecosystem. And then another one with the eagle, worm, and a turtle. And now to Miss Tafoya. She's going to be talking about food webs.
All right, everyone. So food webs, okay, are basically showing you how all the animals in the ecosystem are interacted and how one way or another they are related to each other by these arrows that you see here, okay? So food chains are too simple, and that means that they're not a correct or real representation of what goes on in the ecosystems, and it's actually more complex. So food webs show a more complicated but better picture of an ecosystem. And food webs are basically many overlapping food chains because there's not one just direct method, okay? So we're gonna go over a few examples here. Grassland food web, okay? So you can see that some of these animals are eating the grass and then they are eaten by their predators and so on. So if you wanna take a closer look at this example, you can pause the video. And then here's an example of, let's say, a California forest, okay, where you would see that the top predator is the grizzly bear, okay, and how all of these other animals are involved. And an Arctic ecosystem here, okay, with the leopard seal and the killer whale. So go ahead and pause the video if you want to take a further look. And here is the one ecosystem that you might be most familiar with because it's the intertidal zone. Okay, we got the starfish, we got seagulls, crabs, shrimp, and mussels, plankton, all that good stuff, and just take a look at how they interact. So if you want to take a closer look, you can pause the video. Okay, and the arrows on a food web always point to where the energy is flowing. So it's not the predator eating the prey, okay? You're looking at how the energy is flowing. So that's really important, okay? So when you see the grass and a bunny, okay, although the bunny is eating the grass, the energy is actually flowing from the grass to the bunny, okay? So it's the energy. Where is the energy going? Same thing here, okay? Even though the lion is eating the jackal, okay, the energy is flowing from the jackal to the lion. And this is a much simpler food web where you can see different insects being eaten by a mouse or a bird or the night owl, okay? But remember that the arrows are pointing from where the energy is flowing, okay? So the caterpillar is taking energy from the sunflower, so the sunflower's energy is traveling to the caterpillar. And then there's gonna be a video for Bill Nye for food webs. Okay, and go ahead, Ms. Kwan, explain the homework.
Alrighty, so today we had a very short video lecture. Thanks for watching and tuning in. After you watch this, we do want you to click on the link and watch the Bill Nye on food webs. And as you watch the Bill Nye, you can take 5 notes, and those 5 notes can count as your 5 sentences for your ABC page W for food webs, okay? So any of these picture examples that you liked, or you can create your own, you could draw as your picture, or you can make your ABC page on Google Docs, as many of you have been doing very nicely, and then get your sentences from the Bill Nye, okay? On Wednesday, we have an assignment for you to create your own food web based on what you eat, okay? So on Wednesday, you're gonna think about some of your most favorite meals that you love to eat and create a food web based on one of those meals. For example, Miss Tafoya, Ms. Brown, and I thought of chicken salad, okay? We all like to eat chicken salad, and you can see in this picture that We've got some hard-boiled eggs in here, delicious. We've got some tomatoes, lettuce, some bacon bits right here. And so we created a food web based on this meal that we like to eat. And here it is right here. So we started with some of the things that are part of the chicken salad. Okay, so we added chicken, we added a pig for bacon, and then the eggs, that's part of the chicken too. There's no corn in it, but I'm gonna get to that in a moment. There was lettuce in the chicken salad and there was tomato in the chicken salad. Okay, so we kind of turned all these elements into this little food web right here. So the tomato and lettuce, we said the energy that they get in order to grow and live, they get from the sun. So in every single food web that you see, the producers or the plants, okay, or the algae, they get energy from the sun. And so the arrows point from the sun and the energy goes into the tomato plant, into the lettuce plant. And then the chicken actually eats some of the lettuce. So the energy goes from the lettuce, the arrow points to the chicken. And then the energy goes from the lettuce and the tomato into me, okay? Because I'm directly eating the lettuce and I'm directly eating the tomato, okay? And the chicken and the pig we added, but where do they get their energy from, right? So we added this corn right here. Chickens eat corn and pigs eat almost everything, but they eat a lot of corn as well. And so we added corn, but then where does the corn get its energy? So we connected that to the sun. So since the corn is a plant, okay, it does photosynthesis, it gets energy from the sun, and then when the chicken and the pig eats the corn, the energy flows from the corn into the chicken, into the pig, and then when we eat the chicken meat and the eggs and then the bacon in our chicken salad, then the energy goes from the chicken and the pig into me, okay, or you, or us. All right, so if you have any questions, then let us know. And hopefully this stuff made sense to you. We look forward to seeing your ABC page W later today.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Happy Monday.